The Ezio Trilogy is a saga that spans decades, a lifetime vital to the world's future by discovering vital links to its past. Ezio's life is one of pain, struggle, sacrifice, learning and love. A boy made a man before his time and thrust into a life not of his choosing. Ezio's life was served protecting liberty and fighting tyranny, but his true purpose was to deliver a message to a man he will never meet. To deliver a message to Desmond.
We have to go.
Desmond Miles is an assassin, imprisoned, about to be freed. Freed from a prison named Abstergo. Abstergo is the corporate company with a sinister secret. It is a front for the Templar Order, an ancient organisation hell-bent on power and control. Tools of their control and objects of their obsession are pieces of Eden. Artefacts that bend minds to the holder's will. Desmond, forced to help Abstergo find them using the Animus, a machine that taps into the user's lineage, a machine Abstergo are using to uncover secrets. They have the map to find more and need to be stopped. Luckily, Desmond has an ally. Lucy Stillman, an undercover assassin, is going to break him free. But before they escape to the assassin hideout, Desmond needs to synchronise with a new ancestor. An ancestor that will aid in their war against the Templars.
What shall we call him, my love?
Ezio. Ezio Auditore da Firenze.
Florence, 1476. At the height of the Renaissance movement, a time of great cultural advancement. Science, art, but also money and power. Ezio was born into this money and power. A member of the Auditore banking family. Friends of the Medici. It was a carefree time for Ezio. He had a loving family, supportive friends, and a way with women. Life was good.
They never change.
But unbeknownst to Ezio, his life was about to be changed irreparably. The Auditores have enemies.
This compilation is a collection of 3 videos from my Assassin's Creed story series, an ongoing project charting the story of every Assassin's Creed entry. It's a slow process. Each video takes close to 200 hours to create, and those made so far can be viewed in the description below and linked above now. Make sure to like this video if you do, subscribe and hit the bell to be alerted of the next video in the series, and you can also support this project while getting ad-free advanced access to every video I create 7 days before by joining my Patreon, linked above now. And if you would like to watch me discover this story firsthand and in real time, you can do so via the linked playlist of my ongoing blind Let's Play series of the entire Assassin's Creed franchise. I'm the Patient Wolf, and this is the complete story of the Ezio Trilogy.
Desmond and Lucy are free from Abstergo and safe in the assassin hideout in Rome. In Lucy's absence, Rebecca Crane, with help from Sean Hastings, has developed Animus 2.0. And with the Animus memory Lucy stole from Abstergo, Desmond is ready to be plugged back in, this time in cooperation and a cause of hope.
We're losing this war, Desmond. We're going to train you. Turn you into one of us.
You broke me out of Abstergo and brought me here just to make me an assassin?
Look, there's more to it than that, but it'll have to wait. Trust me.
The assassins hope to use Ezio's life and learning to train Desmond in a matter of days, because days might be all they have. The Animus will facilitate this through the bleeding effect that has already afforded Desmond skills outside of the Animus, combat and eagle vision. But they must be careful. Too much exposure and Desmond could end up like others, like Subject 16.
All right, I'm in.
Here we go.
Ezio's father, Giovanni, was trained in banking and the head of the Medici Bank, but he was also trained in skills he used secretly, kept secret from his children. Giovanni is an assassin, a member of the Italian order and currently investigating for Lorenzo de' Medici, ruler of Florence. Giovanni had uncovered a plot that had already seen the assassination of the Duke of Milan, a plot that looked to seize power across Italy. Giovanni fears Lorenzo and Florence was next. Giovanni already knew the mastermind of this conspiracy, Rodrigo Borgia, the head of the Templar order. There were other names too. The only one he knew for sure, Francesco de Pazzi, head of the other powerful family in Florence. The Pazzis, jealous of the rise of the Medicis and resentful of the Auditore's involvement. Giovanni had the information to take them down, but with Lorenzo out of the city, the Templars took the opportunity to take down Giovanni, the man threatening to derail their plan. Ezio returns from running errands for his father.
They took your father and brothers to the Palazzo della Signoria, to prison.
Making sure his mother and sister were safe, Ezio climbed the prison tower under cover of night.
Listen closely. Return to the house. In my office is a hidden door. Use your talent to find it. Beyond lies a chest. Take everything you find inside. Much of it may seem strange to you, but all of it is important.
Unsure as to their significance, Ezio puts on the robes, sheathes the sword, takes the scroll, a strange device, and a letter. A letter he is instructed to take to Uberto Alberti, the justice minister, a friend of the Auditores and their final hope to fix this. Ezio leaves his father's secret chamber. His world is rocked by the revelation that there is more to their father than they had known.
It's a misunderstanding, Ezio. I'll clear everything up. I'll present these papers at their hearing in the morning, and they'll be released. Don't worry, Ezio. Everything is going to be fine.
Except it won't. It will never be the same again because Alberto is not a friend. He is in league with Rodrigo Borgia, and driven by his own need for revenge, Ezio's father and brothers are executed before his eyes.
You may take our lives this day, but we will have yours in return, I swear! We will! Father!
There! Grab the boy! He's one of them!
Ezio runs to escape the same fate and returns to the remaining Auditores, his mother Maria and sister Claudia. They are kept in a bordello run by Paola.
I can't stay.
Why? Where are you going?
To kill Uberto Alberti.
You are not a killer, Ezio, but I can make you one.
Little did he know, but this was the start of a lifetime of training, with a long line of strangers imparting their wisdom to fulfill Ezio's destiny to be an assassin. No small part of that is learning to blend into the crowd, to stay hidden in plain sight, to use distractions to reach guarded places, and to use the hidden blade to make his kills. That was made possible by a local artist, engineer and family friend, Leonardo da Vinci,
Molto onorato.
who deciphered the strange scroll found with his father's things and used it to restore the hidden blade for Ezio's use.
Incredible.
And he used it on his first kill, Uberto Alberti.
You!
The Auditori are not dead! I'm still here! Me! Ezio! Ezio Auditore!
Ezio has announced his revenge, not only that, but to find out why his father and brothers had to die. The Pazzis are next on his list, but he must think of those that remain too.
I think it's best I leave Firenze. My uncle Mario owns a villa near Montereggioni.
To keep Maria and Claudia safe, they sneak out of the city and head for the place of their father's birth, Montereggioni. But as they arrive, their path is blocked by Vieri de Pazzi, the son of his father's conspirator Francesco de Pazzi.
What do you want, Vieri?
Your life! Kill them! Kill them all!
Ezio and his family are saved by his uncle, Mario Auditore. Vieri flees. Although Ezio looks to take his family much further, Mario persuades Ezio to stay and train for the dangerous tasks ahead. A task that is in his blood. Villa Montereggioni becomes their home, and although run down, it is an opportunity for them to salvage the Auditore name. With Claudia's management and investment, it can be great again. In the coming months, Ezio would come to learn of his heritage, the history of the assassins and the work they were born to do. Part of that work was to collect and decipher codex pages, like the one hidden in his father's chest. Ancient writings scattered to time. On these pages, wisdom gathered by a legendary assassin, Altaär ibn Lahad,
who long ago held a piece of Eden. He spoke of something powerful and ancient hidden beneath the land.
And a prophecy the extent of which only more pages will reveal. And some of those are held by Templars, also seeking this truth. Ezio joins Mario in search of their next target, Vieri de Pazzi. In doing so, Ezio overhears developments within the Templar plot.
It's settled. Vieri, you will remain here to coordinate the mercenary. Francesco will organize our forces in the city and send word when it's time to strike. Jacopo, your job is to calm the citizens once the deed is done.
A new name to the list, Jacopo de Pazzi, uncle to Francesco. Their plot to assassinate Lorenzo de' Medici and take control of Florence. The assassins must stop this. After the meeting, they close in on Vieri and end his life.
Pezzo di merda! Vorrei solo che avesse sofferto di più! Spero che
Enough, Ezio! Show some respect. You are not Vieri. Do not become him.
Ezio was not raised an assassin like his father and uncle. The mindset required will take time.
Where will you go next?
Firenze. Francesco de' Pazzi will share the fate of his son.
1478. There, he meets more strangers to aid his path.
You may call me La Volpe. At your service, Messer Ezio. Francesco de' Pazzi is meeting his people inside that church.
A meeting in which Ezio learns more of the plot, where the assassination attempt will take place, when, and names of others involved in the Pazzi conspiracy.
If they succeed, if we lose Lorenzo and Firenze falls to the Pazzi,
it will not come to that.
The Pazzis end the life of Lorenzo's brother, but Ezio shepherds the ruler of Florence to safety.
Francesco de' Pazzi, help save our city, Auditore. Kill him.
Now Firenze will judge you for what you've done. Requiescat in pace.
With Francesco dead, Jacopo flees. Lorenzo has the remaining names of the Pazzi conspiracy, who may help track Jacopo down.
Antonio Maffei.
No grazie.
Archbishop Francesco Salviati.
Where is Jacopo?
He knows you come for him. Stefano da Bagnone. They meet in the shadow of the Roman gods. And Bernardo Baroncelli.
We gather at the church when a meeting is called.
Ezio finds Jacopo at the church and follows him to the meeting in the shadow of the gods. Furious at the collapse of his plan to take over Florence, Rodrigo Borgia kills the last of the Pazzi conspirators and calls out the assassin that foiled his plans.
Did you honestly think I wouldn't expect you to follow? We've been at this a lot longer than you. Kill him.
With 4 years of training behind him, he escapes the trap, and with Florence saved, he heads for Venice to learn more of the next stage of the Templar plan and close in on those that took his father and brothers. Desmond needs to take a break. The bleeding effect, although useful, must be carefully managed.
So, how am I doing?
You've picked up every single one of Ezio's skills. The adoption rate is fantastic. Another day or two and we'll be done.
But Desmond is hallucinating, accessing memories outside the Animus of fate that befell Subject 16 before he died. But before he died, he left a message, hidden in the Animus, brought over to 2.0. This message is broken up into fragments and scattered around Renaissance Italy. When whole, this message will be vital in understanding the origins of the pieces of Eden. Whilst reliving Ezio's memory, Desmond needs to collect these fragments. Venice, a city where trade is strangled and monopolized by the merchant Emilio Barbarigo, a member of the Templars and key to Borgia's plans in Venice. Ezio knows this is the next man on his list, but the palace in which he resides is too well protected and armed personnel too numerous. He will need help. Help arrives in the form of Antonio, Rosa, and their band of thieves.
We know all about you, Ser Ezio. Your work in Florence and the rest of Tuscany. Good work, too, if a little unrefined.
As Ezio helps break down Barbarigo's hold in the city, both Ezio and Desmond add more strings to their bow in becoming more rounded assassins.
Your good work has restored us to our former strength, Ezio. We are ready to strike.
Your little house of cards is crumbling, Emilio. Do not be afraid.
I sought unity, stability, order.
At too great a cost. Emilio is meeting with a man named Carlo.
Carlo Grimaldi. He sits on the Council of 10.
I have a meeting to attend.
That meeting is attended by Carlo, Rodrigo Borgia, and 3 others. Those men are Silvio Barbarigo, cousin to Marco, and Marco's bodyguard, the loyal and dangerous Dante Moro. All of them Templars, looking to take control of Venice. After attempting to draw the current Doge of Venice to the Templar way of thinking failed, Carlo Grimaldi was to poison him, with Marco taking the seat of power. Another city, another plot, another building Ezio must infiltrate, but this time to save the Doge of Venice and the city from Templar hands. With Antonio's help, they recce the palace where the Doge resides.
I must warn you, it's not going to be so easy this time. Palazzo Ducale is the most heavily guarded building in Venezia.
Nothing is impenetrable.
But not by traditional means. He needs the help of the genius inventor Leonardo and his yet untested flying machine. Like an eagle, Ezio descends on the roof of the palazzo to the rescue of the Doge.
Stop! Signore, don't drink that!
But he's too late. The Doge is poisoned. Ezio catches up with Carlo Grimaldi. With the Doge dead, the Templar plan is still on track, as Marco Barbarigo takes his place. Ezio waits for his chance to unseat him, and uses the Carnival as cover to do so. As Marco gives a speech to the revelling crowds, Ezio strikes. With Rodrigo Borgia away in Rome, Silvio and the bodyguard Dante are all that remain of the Templar plot in Venice. Silvio has amassed an army in the military district. In order to break that control, Ezio must have an army of his own.
Bartolomeo d'Alviano is the man you seek.
About goddamn time!
He and his men have little love for Silvio.
With his help, they storm the district.
Now Silvio will see just how grave a mistake he's made.
Ezio catches up with them both, fleeing towards a departing ship.
Why the boats? I thought you sought the Doge's seat.
Just a distraction. We were meant to sail.
Sail where?
I'll never tell.
Cyprus is their destination. They want...
To find out what the Templars sought in Cyprus, Ezio would have to wait 2 years. Time for Ezio to find and decipher the remaining codex pages, and with the help of Leonardo, he revealed more of the prophecy.
The prophet will appear when the second piece is brought to the floating city.
A prophecy hidden in the codex, leading to an ancient vault that holds something very powerful. What if that's why they sent the ship to Cyprus? To find this piece of Eden? The killing of Mocenigo, even the Medici, my father and brothers. It was all part of his plan. To find the vault, the Spaniard.
The Templar boat returns from Cyprus, carrying the piece of Eden. Ezio infiltrates, disguises himself, and joins the triumphant Templar soldiers, carrying the much-longed-for piece of Eden to the waiting Rodrigo Borgia.
Where is he?
Who?
Your prophet. How many people have died for these?
I am the prophet. Now give me the apple.
Borgia guards descend, but to Ezio's surprise, so do his allies. All the people that have shaped him and helped smooth his path over the last 10 years. 10 years of vengeance. These seemingly disconnected individuals come together to see off the Borgia soldiers and protect the apple. They do so, but Rodrigo Borgia escapes.
What are you all doing here?
Perhaps the same thing you are, Ezio. Hoping to see the prophet appear. A prophet's arrival was foretold. And unbeknownst to us, here you are. Perhaps all along, you were the one we sought.
A new face for Ezio, but Niccolo Machiavelli will explain the tie that binds all these people, these friends. They are assassins.
It's true, Nipote. We have all been guiding you for years, teaching you the skills you would need to join our ranks.
That night, Ezio is officially inducted into the Brotherhood.
We work in the dark to serve the light. We are assassins.
Nothing is true.
Everything is permitted.
The apple is the assassin's possession, and more weight is added to the theory that Ezio is the prophet foretold as the apple reacts to his presence.
This must never fall into the wrong hands.
Ezio, you must protect this with all the skills we have taught you.
They have the apple, but the Templar plot is still alive and well in the hands of Rodrigo Borgia, and it will be another 10 years before the assassins are able to strike again. 10 years to source the remaining codex pages while locked in a seemingly perpetual struggle to keep hold of the apple. But keep hold of it, they do. 10 years later, with the apple in hand, the year is 1499. Rodrigo Borgia has extended his power throughout Italy and the world, as he is now Pope, and for the assassins, the time has come.
Let us finish what you and my father started all those years ago.
Perhaps now we can finally make sense of this prophecy and put a stop to whatever it is the Spaniard is plotting.
We should start by locating the vault. The codex pages will lead us to it.
When the pages are brought together with the apple, they reveal a map. A map that reveals the location of the vault. It exists in the Vatican City.
It looks like the vault is in Roma. Then the Spaniard. This is why he became Pope.
Not only did it give him the power to spread the Templar influence through Italy and the world, but it gave him access to the vault and to the papal staff.
The Codex always spoke of 2 keys. 2 pieces of Eden needed to open the vault.
Papal staff is the second piece of Eden.
While the other assassins cause trouble in the city of Rome, Ezio uses the distraction to infiltrate the Vatican during Rodrigo Borgia's papal sermon to the cardinals in the Sistine Chapel.
Requiescat in pace, you bastard! I don't think so! How is it you resist? I see. Kind of you to bring me the apple. You will give it to me.
As you wish.
The two battle, both imbued with the power of the piece of Eden they possess. But Rodrigo, more familiar with the artifact's power, overcomes Ezio.
And now, to deal with you.
He now has both pieces of Eden and the location of the vault. His decades of work has reached its conclusion. He heads towards his perceived destiny. Ezio, injured but able to stand, uses his skills to pursue Rodrigo.
Open, damn you! Open!
It's over, Rodrigo.
Get it over with, then.
No. Killing you won't bring my family back.
Ezio elects to spare the false prophet Rodrigo, and on touching the staff paired with the apple, the vault door opens, allowing the prophet to enter.
Greetings, prophet. It is good you have come. Let us see it, to give thanks.
The hologram that Ezio faces is
Minerva.
You are gods.
No, not gods. We simply came before.
Minerva is a projection from an advanced intelligence that existed before man. In fact, they created man. Man did not evolve. This was a fact fabricated by the Templars to protect the secrets they wished to take advantage of. The ones that came before made humans as slaves, but the oppressed rose and overcame their masters. Shortly after that, a celestial event occurred that wiped out almost all life. Those that remained from both sides worked together to rebuild.
Even when we walked the world, your kind struggled to understand our existence. You may not comprehend us, but you will comprehend our warning. Our words are not meant for you. I do not wish to speak with you, but through you. You are the prophet. You've played your part.
The person Minerva was to commune with is Desmond. Through the Animus to deliver a message. to warn of the coming of another celestial event, an event that could literally shake the world to its core, taking some, if not all, of humanity with it. The ones that came before have now died out, but what they left behind was vaults like these, temples, within them the wisdom to help humanity stop the catastrophe from ever happening again. Desmond is chosen as the one to bring this about.
You must find the other temples. If you can find them, if their work can be saved, so too might this world. Be quick, for time grows short, and guard against the cross, for there are many who will stand in your way. We are gone now from this world, all of us. We can do no more. The rest is up to you, Desmond.
What the fuck?
Desmond has an importance far greater than the assassins, the Templars, even himself had imagined. But there is no time for Desmond to reflect on this. The Templars have found the assassin's hideout. Among them, Warren Vidic, Desmond's former captor and the man in charge of Abstergo's Animus project.
Mr. Miles, this is an unexpectedly pleasant turn of events.
What do you want, Vidic?
There's still so much work for us to do together.
As the Abstergo men look to take Desmond back, he puts all the skills he has learnt through Ezio via the Animus to the test and sees off the threat.
Enjoy your victory, Mr. Miles. Temporary as it is.
With the hideout compromised, this team of assassins need to move on. Move on to continue their work.
The rest is up to you, Desmond.
What?
Ezio, in the vault below the Vatican in 1499, was left astounded and confused in equal measure.
Please wait, I have so many questions.
Desmond, in the Animus at their Rome hideout in 2012, feels much the same.
Rebecca, what's going on?
I have to run some diagnostics. I'll get back to you.
But Abstergo, the Templars have caught up with the assassins. Desmond and his fellow assassins are on the run once more. The organisation the assassins have been battling for millennia are winning. Their numbers have dwindled to almost nothing. They still have teams based around the world, but many are dead or missing in action. Those that remain are trying their best to stifle Abstergo's search for other pieces of Eden, the ancient tools of control created by an ancient civilization. Abstergo need just one of them for a special project. A satellite launch that will further strengthen their control over the world and its people. The assassins in Italy need to source a location Abstergo won't easily find them. They gravitate to a place of great importance to Desmond's ancestor Ezio, the Auditore Villa in Montereggioni, Tuscany. Both Ezio and Desmond are in the dark about many things, but they do know this. Minerva, a hologram from a race long dead, delivered a clear message. A celestial event is on its way. Not in Ezio's time, but perhaps in Desmond's. It is up to him. But where does he start? He has his fellow assassins to assist him. Rebecca Crane, in charge of running the Animus. Sean Hastings, historian and analyst. And overseeing everyone, Lucy Stillman.
In the Vatican, Minerva talked about other temples, that they're the key to preventing whatever terrible thing is about to happen to the Earth.
But where are these temples?
To find the temples, I'm convinced we need to get our hands on Ezio's Apple of Eden. Minerva altered it somehow when she touched it.
Despite being underdogs, the assassins have one advantage. Abstergo do not know about the temples, and they don't know about Ezio's apple. The other piece of Eden, the papal staff used to open the vault under the Vatican, was reclaimed by it, safe from man. But Ezio has the apple. He may not understand all the words of Minerva, but he understands the power of the apple. He needs to keep it out of the hands of man, out of the hands of the Templars. The search for the temples, and perhaps the tools to combat the impending celestial event, is the main priority for Desmond and his assassins. For Ezio and his assassins, there are more immediate matters. Ezio and his uncle Mario Auditore flee the Vatican. Ezio, for now, entrusts the apple to Mario, and they leave Rome to return to the Auditore Villa in Montereggioni.
place just keeps getting better.
Since arriving at Montereggioni all those years ago, after losing his father and brothers to the Templars, Ezio and his sister Claudia have renovated and rejuvenated the town beyond Mario's expectations. And Mario has been an important mentor to his nephew, and Ezio has become a vital custodian and hero of the town.
Look, it is Ezio!
Buongiorno!
Salve, Mario!
It's good to be home.
It is their home, their family home, a place of safety and the meeting place of the assassin brotherhood. An organisation the Auditore family have long since been a part. Not all the assassins are here today. Paola is back in Florence, Teodora and Antonio are in Venice. The Templar threat has been quashed there, but these cities need an assassin's presence to guard against their return. Bartolomeo and La Volpe are in Rome. The remaining assassins and close allies meet here today to discuss the incredible events that transpired at the Vatican. Ezio regales them of tales of Minerva, the ancient civilization, the temples, and that mysterious name, Desmond.
Amazing. I cannot imagine such wonders.
And Ezio informs them of the mercy he bestowed on Rodrigo Borgia, leaving him injured to his own fate after their battle. Mercy, a trait hard earned over the years, since his early need to indulge his anger and seek revenge on those that killed his family.
The Spaniard lives!
The assassin Niccolo Machiavelli is shocked at Ezio's decision not to end the threat of the Borgia when he had the chance.
Once our enemies are dead, we can speak of vaults and gods and ancient places.
The assassins know that they need to investigate Minerva's message further, but for now, the Order has a more imminent threat: the Borgia's hold on Italy. The assassins disband to consider their plight. Machiavelli, disappointed, heads to Rome, and Ezio catches up with an old friend, a friend of the assassins, the Countess of Forli, Caterina Sforza.
Shh! What's that?
Probably just training exercises.
Montereggioni, the cherished home of the Auditore family, was being laid waste by the Borgia Pope's papal army.
Do you have it?
I am keeping it safe. We need to hold them off until the townspeople have escaped.
With the apple still safe, they wish each other luck, and Mario leaves to meet the attack head-on, while Ezio looks to protect the walls.
Uncle, be careful.
I will.
As half a life's work crumbles around him, Ezio knows the town is lost. But they can save its people. Ezio mans the cannons to stem the Borgia attack. As the last of their people escape, the gates are breached.
I know you're there, Ezio! The Pope told me about you and your little group of assassins. And this! So consider this an invitation from my family to yours!
His family is Borgia. His father is the Pope, and he is the leader of his papal army. His name is Cesare Borgia, and he has the apple. He has Caterina Sforza prisoner, and his uncle, his mentor, his adopted father Mario, is killed. He has no time to process this yet. He must see that all have escaped, including his last remaining relatives, his mother and sister. Although wounded, he fights his way to the villa.
Stop! Wait for us!
Where does this passage lead?
To the north.
Let me through. I must go help the troops.
The door closes on an escape route through the assassin's tomb, the shrine to the great assassins that came before him. They exit the walls.
Mario is dead. Take Mother to Firenze.
You are not coming with us. Where are you riding?
To Roma.
Go, my son. Destroy them. But remember for whom we assassins fight.
With revenge in his heart once more, he heads to Rome, the seat of Borgia power, to not only finish what he started with the Borgia Pope, but to end the life of his son Cesare and claim back the apple. They must be eradicated for the good of the people, and to avenge his uncle Mario. But the injury he suffered will prevent this for now. The assassins in 2012 are on the run from Abstergo once more. They arrive to the only place they know they'll be safe for now.
It's our last safe house in Italy.
The Auditore Villa in Montereggioni.
Abstergo upgraded his cell towers ages ago. The waves go through everything above ground.
The assassin's tomb, the sanctuary deep underground, will be their new home.
Should be safe to set up. Let's get the Animus down there.
Desmond's bleeding effect is still producing images from the past. He sees Ezio in the sanctuary, not as he was when he fled the villa, but older, calmer. The vision subsides as they all do. The bleeding effect is a byproduct of the Animus. The more time Desmond spends within it, the more frequent the visions. These visions need to be monitored. They could drive him insane, kill him even, like they did Subject 16. The tomb has been forgotten for centuries, but it looks just as it did through the Animus, except for one detail: a series of triangles at the secret entrance, which when looked at through eagle vision, produce a set of numbers.
1419, 1420, and 1421. Looks like something Ezio left behind.
What could it mean? But they don't have time to consider it. They need to get Desmond in the Animus in search of the Piece of Eden. It's the only lead they have on finding the temples that could hold the key to preventing the end of humanity.
As soon as we find the apple, I get in contact with our other teams in Europe, but as far as Italy goes, we're on our own. Now get in there and find the apple. Let's get started.
Ezio awakens, still injured from his brush with the Borgia.
Where have you brought me?
You are to meet Messer Machiavelli in front of the Mausoleo di Augusto.
He was found injured and brought to Rome, cared for and clothed in assassin's robes. He still has his blade and his experience, but his worldly possessions, everything he has collected on his quest since he was 17, his money, his codex weapons, they're gone. It has been 23 years since he lost his father and brothers to the Templars. He is now 40 years of age. It's the year 1500. Rome is under complete Borgia control, Templar control. The papal soldiers patrol the streets, stifling freedom. Punishment is harsh, trade is suffocating. The Borgia have an arrangement with gangs like the Cento Occhi, the 100 Eyes, who do the dirty work when needed, and potent threats like the cult of Romulus that inhabit underground lairs lost to time, emerging to drive people back into the clutches of the church with their terror and savagery. The Borgia have the people of Rome in their control, and there is no escape. Still broken from his injuries, Ezio meets his fellow assassin, Machiavelli. With his knowledge of the city and its powers, he sets Ezio on the right path. The good news is that the Borgia think Ezio is dead. He can work from the shadows once more, an advantage they sorely need. For the adversary they now face, Cesare Borgia will be near unassailable.
He is ambitious, ruthless, and cruel beyond imagining.
His ambition had him kill his brother for power. His ruthlessness meant many were sent to the gallows, and his cruelty, when not carried out by Cesare himself, is outsourced to his attack dog, Nicoletto, who never flinches to enact his sadistic will.
Cesare has set his sights on all of Italia, and at this rate he will have it.
Rodrigo Borgia's death would not have solved anything.
I am inclined to disagree.
Killing one man will not change things. We need to take away the source of their power.
Machiavelli is still bitter that Ezio spared Rodrigo. Their task is even harder because of it. They need to undermine their rule here in Rome, the epicenter of the regime's power. Ezio can take down the Borgia captains who govern the various districts in the city. Once chased out, let the people in the area know that the Borgia are defeated by burning their flags and symbols of rule. Then give them back their freedom by helping them reopen commerce, an opportunity to earn, to show them that the Borgia does not own them. Rome is for the people. The Borgia grip will take time to erode. In the meantime, Ezio needs help, eyes and ears to gain intel on how to free his friend Caterina Sforza, locate the whereabouts of the apple, and how to find and take down enemy number one, Cesare Borgia. Machiavelli shows Ezio a hideout they can use as their new assassin headquarters. It is given to them by Fabio Orsini. Fabio is a member of the Borgia papal forces.
I've heard a great deal about you from my cousin, Bartolomeo d'Alviano.
A fine warrior.
Fabio sides with the assassins intellectually, but he's bound to Cesare for now, but he wants to break free. His help here by offering this storeroom, and help yet to come, will be invaluable to the assassins.
It is perfect.
The headquarters is an area to regroup, store equipment, converse with fellow assassins, and make plans for their quests. Machiavelli reminds Ezio of 3 factions that can aid them, but they are currently all occupied by their own trials. Fabio's cousin and Ezio's friend Bartolomeo d'Alviano runs the muscle that usually help their cause, but
our mercenaries are ensnared in a losing battle with Cesare's French allies.
The courtesans have always proved incredibly useful to the assassins, and will do now, as they often entertain cardinals of the Borgia Church.
But the madam there is lazy, and would rather attend parties than further our cause.
And the thieves are run by the familiar but elusive La Volpe.
But they refuse to talk to us. I don't know why. What are you going to do?
Make some friends.
In order to get the allies focused on the same outcome, Ezio must smooth their path.
Ezio Auditore!
Bartolomeo is being attacked on both sides by the Borgia army and their allies, the French. If they can defeat one, they can focus all their efforts on the other. Ezio helps topple the Borgia hierarchy in the area, allowing their concentration on the French.
We send those luridi codardi running for the hills!
The mercenaries can breathe for now.
Welcome to the Rosa in Fiore, stranger.
This is the home of the courtesans. Ezio is there to see the Madonna Solari, to persuade her to focus on the assassin's cause.
Aiuto, aiuto! Madonna Solari!
But she has been taken. But by who?
Slave traders, Messere. They want coin in exchange for her life.
The Cento Occhi clearly working for the Borgia. Ezio, keen to end the matter, elects to pay them.
I have your money. Let her go!
No! Take it up with Cesare!
Ezio intends to. And after seeing off the gang members, heads back to the Rosa, only to find the last people you would ever wish to find at a brothel.
Mother? Sister?
Ezio, Sir Machiavelli said that you might be here.
What are you doing in Roma?
Ezio, we want to help.
I was trying to help you by sending you to Firenze.
Ezio needs his family safe. He can't lose any more to his enemies.
Where is Madonna Solari?
She's dead.
Merda.
Ezio needs the Rosas to stay in business. He needs the intel they will glean from the sinning cardinals.
Without someone who can run things, we're finished.
I'll do it.
You do not belong here, Claudia.
I know how to run a business.
She does. Claudia was instrumental in the revitalization of Montereggioni, and she wants to help here. She knows the importance of the assassin's work and feels drawn to its purpose. Just like Ezio.
You do this, Claudia, and you are on your own.
I've been on my own for 20 years.
Due to his cause and Claudia's focus on the villa, they have been estranged, and this impasse regarding the Rosa further drives a wedge between them. Resigned and conflicted, Ezio heads to see La Volpe to find out why communication has broken down between the thieves and the assassins. It turns out it is due to mistrust of one of the order.
That man is a traitor to our order.
Machiavelli has been an ambassador to the papal court and a friend and confidant to Cesare Borgia himself. Ezio is convinced this is Machiavelli's nature to gain information any way possible. La Volpe believes he is compromising the assassins. They need to find out his real purpose. La Volpe's spies report a meeting between Machiavelli and a Borgia soldier.
What do you make of that?
With the passing of documents to Machiavelli, this casts further doubt on his character, but Ezio still remains convinced.
I know what we saw, but you have nothing to fear from Machiavelli.
If you believe Machiavelli remains loyal to the order, I trust you.
La Volpe's suspicions are calmed for now, and with the help of his thieves, Ezio now has all the allies by his side once more. Ezio oversees the development of the premises of each guild, and in return, each will aid Ezio and the assassins in their quests. La Volpe and his spies will search for the apple.
My spies tell me that the apple has been secreted to someone for a study. I am working on determining his identity.
Claudia and her courtesans will find where Caterina Sforza is being held.
Caterina will be moved to the prison within the castello next week.
Bartolomeo will find the location of enemy number 1, Cesare Borgia.
That bastardo Cesare is in the Castel Sant'Angelo with the Pope.
Able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, Ezio awaits outside the Castello Sant'Angelo for the arrival of the shackled Caterina Sforza.
Who put you up to this? Was it your brother or your father? Perhaps a bit of both? Perhaps at the same time?
Chiudi la bocca! None speak ill of the Borgia!
Overseeing the prisoner is another Borgia, more beautiful but no less cruel, Rodrigo's daughter, Cesare's sister Lucrezia Borgia. Ezio infiltrates the castello just in time to overhear Cesare meeting his captains and conspirators.
Forget the Pope, you only answer to me.
Seeing them together, Ezio is transported to the moment the villa walls were breached, the moment his uncle was taken. Lucrezia, these men, all flanked Cesare, as his town and uncle were taken. One is Octavian de Valois, general of the French allies currently locked in battle with Bartolomeo's men. His right-hand man, the dangerous Micheletto. The third, dressed in cardinal's robes, is as yet unknown to Ezio.
What of Il Vaticano?
That tired old men's club. Play along for now, but soon we will have no need of them.
Ezio continues on as this information sinks in. Rodrigo and his son may want the same things, but it seems by different means. They are not working together, and Cesare wants power, the reins of Italy to himself, not hampered or overshadowed by his father. Further on, Ezio witnesses the unconventional bond between the Borgia siblings.
Lucrezia, have you talked to the Pope about the funds requested by my banker?
He is away from the castello, and he might need some convincing when he returns.
That shouldn't be a problem, should it?
Once I have secured the throne of Italia,
You are going to be my queen.
Buona fortuna, Padron Cesare!
Cesare leaves the castello before Ezio has a chance to get near. The Pope, contrary to the assassin intel, is nowhere to be seen. This is strange, but Ezio can still aid Caterina.
That puts you in your place. Lock it and give me the key.
Ezio must get that key.
My fight is not with you, Lucrezia. Free Caterina, and I will stand down.
Impossible.
Then you leave me no choice.
Rescuing princesses from castles now?
Ezio drags Lucrezia kicking and screaming to the cell of Caterina. Caterina knowing where the key is to free herself.
Guards! Guards! That's enough out of you!
They flee, battling the papal soldiers, and return to the assassin hideout to convalesce and regroup. Cesare has left Rome to fight his conquests in Italy at large. They won't be able to get close to him at present. All they can do is further destabilise the Borgia grip on Rome. They can do this by bringing others to their cause.
To win this war, Machiavelli, we need loyal soldiers. By recruiting enemies of the state, we arm those who have been disarmed by the Borgia.
Ezio aids Borgia's enemies.
The liberation of Roma has begun.
Your cause is also mine. My life is at your service.
With each person they recruit, they contribute to their chance of overthrowing the Borgia. Ezio is building and growing their brotherhood. Caterina leaves to her besieged hometown of Forli with these parting words.
You are the leader of the assassins now. Unite them, Ezio Auditore, and take back Roma.
He aims to do so, and while scouring the city for candidates to their cause, he encounters an old friend.
Ezio, over here.
The artist, inventor, and genius that deciphered the Codex, Leonardo da Vinci.
Come here.
Leonardo has been coerced into helping the Borgia.
They would have killed me had I refused.
What do they want?
War machines. Cesare intends to supply his army with my creations.
The assassins cannot afford to miss an opportunity to weaken Cesare's ever-growing army. He will need to track down Leonardo's inventions, sabotage them, and destroy the plans. Their force will be too strong otherwise. Leonardo has other news. News of the apple.
Cesare left it in my hands to study. Then Rodrigo took it from me, I know not where.
The Pope has the apple once more. They must get to him, but he is locked away deep in the castello. They must also help Bartolomeo tackle the French army headed by de Valois. And they must also lure Cesare back to the city. For this, Ezio has a plan.
If we cut off his funds, Cesare will lose his army and return without his men. Where does he get his money?
All we know is that he is called the banker.
To find out the identity of the banker, Ezio needs to track the money. He tracks down the guards responsible for transporting the coin, takes the disguise of one of their number, and gains access to a party thrown by the banker. Ezio has seen him before, in the company of Cesare Borgia at the Castello and the gates of Montereggioni. His name is Juan Borgia, cousin to Cesare.
Cesare is about to speak in the main room, Eccellenza.
This is too good to be true, and also with his father. Cesare should be elsewhere, in Italy, fighting.
Soon, we will be here once more, celebrating a united Italia. And then the feasting will last for 40 days and 40 nights.
Cesare's speech highlights the dissension that Cesare increasingly displays to his father.
We did not agree to conquer Italia.
Rodrigo is not the same man since his defeat at the hands of Ezio. His spirit is broken and he's 70 now. The years have caught up with him. But he has never taken his sights from the aims of his Templar order. Cesare, it seems, dreams of power and the role of Grand Master Templar for himself. He's not content to work with subtlety. He yearns to be followed. He yearns to be feared.
You risk upsetting the delicate balance of control we have worked so hard to tighten.
I have the army, so I am making the decisions. Don't look so glum. Enjoy yourself.
Rodrigo's papal power is being eclipsed by the ambitions of his son. Borgia, father and son, are unreachable now, but nephew and cousin Juan Borgia is in sight and must be killed. His financial acumen is integral to the might of Cesare's forces.
The things I have felt, seen, and tasted, I do not regret a moment of it.
Juan has attended his last party, and the money meant for Cesare is appropriated by the courtesans. In order to put the squeeze on Cesare even more, the assassins must defeat his allies the French, and the need to act has become even more acute, as their general, Baron de Valois, has kidnapped Bartolomeo's wife, Pantasilea, and demands his surrender.
Enter my camp unarmed at dawn. I'll kill you for tutto francese!
Bartolomeo is enraged to attack, but Ezio persuades him towards calm. They steal uniforms of the French, and with Bartolomeo in chains, they infiltrate the Baron's camp.
Why don't you grow up here and release my wife? You savages never learn.
While the disguised mercenaries attack, Ezio finds the Baron and ends his life.
Requiescat in pace.
With the French defeated and Pantasilea returned, the assassins have done all they can to weaken Cesare's army. They must now focus on defeating the Borgia and getting back the apple. The apple is not only important to Ezio, it is vital to the assassins in modern-day Montereggioni. It's their only lead to the temples. If Ezio can keep his hand on the apple, they will hopefully be able to find out where it is kept. The Templars Abstergo, they think, are unaware of the temples or the impending catastrophe, but they have a mission of their own at the moment.
Our top assassins are busy gathering info about the Templar satellite launch.
The Templars' methods of control are beginning to lose their grip. Capitalism is being questioned, and attempts to control through the TV network are starting to show signs of resistance. They need a new method, and their satellite launch could be the ultimate solution. With a satellite built around a piece of Eden, they can amplify its signal to bend the entire world to their will.
How long do we have before the Templar satellite launch?
It's October 8th, so that leaves us with 74 days. Think about all that you've been through in the last month. 74 days is a long time. If it were up to me, you'd take more breaks.
The bleeding effect so far has been good to Desmond. It's taught his body and mind outside of the Animus to do what Ezio can. Fight, move, to be an expert assassin, but exposure can hurt, and Lucy is worried. She saw firsthand what it did to Subject 16, the mania it caused, his suicide, the only way he had to silence the ancestral voices in his head. But Subject 16 was lucid enough to leave clues for his fellow assassins in the Animus. They could be found across Italy by Ezio, and they produced a video that revealed the origin of humanity and our makers, the ones that came before. It showed Adam and Eve escaping with the apple from slavery, the start of freedom and independence for humanity. Subject 16 did the same in Rome. Ezio tracked down these glyphs that revealed puzzles and information and secret documents on the rise and methods of control that the Templars used over the years, all leading to snippets of video. When collected, this did not reveal a video in full at all, but a program within the Animus, a world within a world. Desmond navigates the space which leads to a computerized form claiming to be Subject 16.
You're dead. I saw your blood.
No time. It is far later than you know.
Subject 16's insanity is well documented, but Desmond takes his words on board with amazement.
She is not who you think she is.
Who isn't? He also talks of Eden and finding Eve.
The key, her DNA.
Is he talking of the woman who escaped with the apple all those centuries ago? That Eve?
I am with you till the end. Find me in the darkness.
He can't be alive. But who was that? Does his ramblings mean anything? Not that Desmond can discern right now. He is reminded of the dangers of the Animus, but he must continue to find the apple. He owes it to Lucy, the team, the world.
Weren't you the only assassin at Abstergo's Animus facility? How are you getting data from them?
Some old passwords work, but I can't dig very far into the network.
The assassins have their focus, and all the intel they need.
I'll rest once we have the apple.
The apple lies well guarded behind the walls of the Castello in Rodrigo's hands, and Cesare will head there to seek support from the Pope for his ailing army. But their quarters in the Castello are highly secure. La Volpe may have the solution.
There is a side entrance. Lucrezia's latest plaything, Pietro, has a key.
La Volpe's spies will track him down. In private, La Volpe's suspicions of Machiavelli are re-emerging, as information has arisen regarding Ezio's last visit to the Castello.
Someone warned Rodrigo to stay away from the Castello.
And the Borgia have been alerted as to the location of La Volpe's spies.
We must not be split apart by mere suspicion.
Despite the mounting evidence, Ezio cannot bring himself to condemn Machiavelli yet. He moves with La Volpe to rescue his vulnerable spies, and in doing so, sees a familiar face. One he has not seen since that fateful day at the villa.
Un momento! You were at the Villa Auditore during the attack!
He gives chase.
Why did you run?
I...
You are the traitor, not Machiavelli.
Long live the Borgia!
The integrity of the assassins assured for now, Ezio and the thieves, having found Pietro, retrieve the key to the side entrance of the Castello. The assassins have the strength and means to finish this. This strength in unity has reminded Ezio of the importance of family.
Call the assassins together and bring Claudia.
Despite Ezio's anger at Claudia's insistence on running the Rosa in Fiore, her work has been integral to the strength of the assassins. He is proud of her, and their coldness towards each other must end.
Mario, our father, and our brother, once stood around this fire. Now, I offer the choice to you. Join us.
He inducts her officially into the order, and whilst doing so, Machiavelli looks to recognise Ezio's importance.
You have led the charge against the Templars and rebuilt this brotherhood. Now we must put Ezio where he belongs, at the head of the assassins.
The seat Mario left needed to be filled, and with that, his nephew Ezio is now mentor of the Italian Brotherhood. His first act will be to end the Borgia control and retrieve the apple. Ezio gets there in time to see Cesare arrive at the Castello.
I want to see the Pope!
He uses the key to the side entrance and heads to the Pope's apartments.
My funds! My troops! Gone!
The Pope and his son's relationship has broken down, and Cesare's actions threaten all that the Templar have worked for. Rodrigo, with cantarella-laced apples, looks to end Cesare's life.
I gave you everything, and yet it's never enough.
Cesare! He intends to poison you!
If I want to live, I live. If I want to take, I take. If I want you to die, you die! Where is the piece of Eden?
Stop! I know where it is!
And you did not tell me he had taken it?
Despite Lucrezia siding with her brother, her loyalty is not returned.
It's me, your queen.
You are my sister, nothing more. Where is the apple?
Cesare, sickened but not killed by the poison, leaves armed with the apple's location. Ezio must learn of it too. Rodrigo is dead. Not at the hands of Ezio, but of his own kin. His influence created a den of vipers, and they both came back to bite him.
Requiescat in pace.
I know where that bastard is going. San Pietro, the pavilion in the courtyard.
Ezio beats Cesare to St. Peter's and uses his gift to find where the apple is hidden.
Looking for this.
It ends now, assassino. My sword will take your life.
But with the poison still running through his veins, he must retreat. Ezio uses the power of the apple to escape the Vatican and its papal guards and returns to the assassin hideout.
Rodrigo Borgia is dead.
And Cesare?
Poisoned, but alive.
We must not allow him to assemble his remaining supporters.
With your aid, I will hunt him down.
Over the coming weeks, Cesare stalls for time as he awaits the arrival of Micheletto and his army.
And then you will see how quickly the assassini fall.
You delude yourself, Cesare.
Ezio uses the apple to put an end to the papal forces in Rome. With his power depleted, he also loses Templar control of the Vatican as they elect another pope not bound to their cause, Julius II.
Rome is not the same as it once was. Borgia money has become tainted. You will regret this decision.
The assassins have their apple, but Cesare still eludes them. It is nearly 2 years before they next get their chance. In that time, the tables in the city had turned. It was the Templars that needed to hide in the shadows. The Brotherhood receive intel that he is waiting at the gates for his forces to take Rome back.
Gather the assassins. We face him together.
Soon Micheletto and his army will arrive, but you shall be dead before then.
Using the apple, they are able to overcome Cesare's men, but it might be too late. With the arrival of Micheletto's forces, even the apple might not be enough to overcome their sheer numbers.
We will take back my city once and for all!
Except, it's not Micheletto. His army has not arrived. It is a familiar face to the assassins. Bartolomeo's cousin, Fabio Orsini.
By order of Pope Julius II, I arrest you, Cesare Borgia.
No! No! This is not how it ends! Chains will not hold me! I will not die by the hand of man!
Cesare is captured. For now, the assassins can rest. They have the apple. The Borgia are defeated. But something troubles Ezio.
It was the manner in which he said it. Chains will not hold me.
If you are so worried, there is a way to find out.
Despite his fear of the apple, he knows that it will contain the answers he seeks. As the visions bombard him, he immediately understands why Cesare was confident that he would rise again. He knew he had help.
Cesare was right. I have to leave.
What do you intend to do?
Plant a seed.
What Ezio saw through the apple was that Cesare's right-hand man, Micheletto, would free him from his imprisonment. He would regain his strength and his men, and he would continue in his lust for power. Ezio also understood when and where they would meet again. It would be 4 years later, on a battlefield in Spain. But in the interim, he needs to give a safe home to the apple. Neither he nor any man should have access to it now. 1507. The Spanish lands of Viana. Ezio finally catches up with Cesare.
How did you find it?
The apple you stole from Mario Auditore, let me hear.
He fights his way through the battlefield, through the conflict between the Borgia army and the army of Louis de Beaumont. Ezio cares not about the outcome of this conflict. It's not his fight. He only cares about getting his man. He finally meets him on the walls of Castle Viana.
Come then, Ezio! The throne was mine!
Wanting something does not make it your right.
No man can murder me!
Then I leave you in the hands of fate.
And gravity, as Cesare is thrown from the castle walls. The Templar Grand Master is defeated and the work of the Italian Order of the Assassins is completed for now. Ezio will have other fights, other roles to play in their fight against the Templars, but for now, our hero can rest. The assassins in modern-day Montereggioni now have the location of the apple, in Rome, under the Colosseum. Ezio already knew the location of the vault before the apple told him how to access it. He came across it in his aim to flush out the cult of Romulus from their lairs and seek their treasure, but he did not have the means to enter them. But, in speaking to the apple, it gave him the password needed in order to open the vault, leaving the apple safe within it, and to plant a clue for those in the future with his gifts to gain access. He leaves that clue in the form of a triangle in the assassin's tomb in Montereggioni.
The symbol matches the one on the door to the vault.
Eagle Vision reveals those numbers.
1419, 1420, 1421.
A riddle.
Oh my god.
A riddle that Sean divines.
The Tetragrammaton, the 72 names of God. If you arrange the 4 Hebrew letters in God's name within an equilateral triangle, their numerical values add up to the same number. 72.
I think we have our password.
The assassins leave the safety of the underground sanctuary and head to Rome, to the Colosseum. If they can get their hands on the apple, they may be able to find the temples. 72 is their password. When spoken, will get them into the vault, and by coincidence or design, there is also 72 days left until the Abstergo satellite launch. Desmond takes the more difficult but known path. The others look for another route. Their paths are to converge at the Basilica di Santa Maria.
Now, supposedly, this church was built on top of the ancient temple of Juno.
Indeed, as Ezio progresses towards the Basilica, he uses his eagle vision to open doors blocking his path. In doing so, he meets a hologram, just like that of Minerva. This one is named Juno, and she is one that came before.
We commit to this space the epilogue of our ending. Let it be found by he who is deemed worthy. Let it shape his path forward. Let it save the world we leave behind.
As Desmond continues to forge a path to the vault, Juno speaks of the previous cataclysm and her efforts to preserve her kind after the disaster, as well as the human race. They left their story and wisdom to the materials and minds of men. But these proved impermanent and were lost to time and left the world ignorant. The ones who came before did not build humanity to be wise, but now the hope of the world rests upon one of them, Desmond. Humanity has the ability to understand, but they used their tools for control rather than understanding and used them against one another. The ones that came before destroyed what they could and sealed away what they could not in vaults and temples. They could save their wisdom, but not themselves. Time took them in the end. Humans could never understand that of Juno's people because they didn't have their sixth sense. They call it knowledge. Some assassins have the beginnings of it, like Desmond and Ezio, because they are children of two worlds. Skills passed on genetically through the union between the two races. But those with human blood could only use some of the eagle vision, not all. The assassins with mixed blood, the ones with that gift, are all that remains of the ones that came before. Maybe that's why they look to store such knowledge away in places only assassins could access, so that their race could live on. By coming to this temple, it is Juno's hope that Desmond will activate this knowledge to its full. He will have the knowledge, but according to Juno, it will be too late. Desmond activates a plinth that reacts to his touch and leads them to the vault door. The password, when spoken,
72,
opens the vault.
Time to find out where those temples are.
Desmond reaches the apple, the prize they've been seeking all this time. As he approaches, it bursts into an array of symbols.
That's a Phrygian cap. It stands for freedom, and that's a Masonic eye. Now those two come together in only one place. What's happening?
Sean cannot finish because Desmond touches the apple and the assassins freeze still. What's keeping them frozen like this?
I can't move.
Your DNA communes with the apple. You have activated it.
Let me go!
On the 72nd day before the moment of awakening, you, birthed from our loins, the final journey commences.
Also, she speaks of one that must accompany Desmond through the gate, one he does not know yet. Who is this person?
The path must be opened. The scales shall be balanced.
As Juno speaks, Desmond is controlled by the apple, becomes its pawn, controlled to move his feet towards its will. It bears his blade and takes aim at his friend, his ally, the person he trusts most, Lucy Stillman.
No!
It is done. The way lies all before you. Only she remains to be found. Awaken the sixth. Go, alone!
Through the apple, this ancient civilization have enacted their plan. The trauma of this overwhelms Desmond. He is lost to this world. He has killed his friend. Why? Juno talks of another he must find. Is it Eve, as Subject 16 mentioned? If Juno is correct, Desmond is destined to awaken his sixth sense, to develop his gift to that of his ancestors, the ones that came before. Before his consciousness is lost completely, Desmond hears voices. One of them is a voice familiar to him, one he has not heard in a long time.
Shit! He's gone into shock. Put him back in the machine. It's the only way to fix this. But the Animus did this to him. Am I the expert or not?
As he passes into black, he remembers the words of Subject 16, spoken in the program he built.
I am with you till the end. Find me in the darkness.
Many questions remain unanswered. Will the apple show the way to the temples? Why did the apple require Lucy's death? Who is the voice so familiar to Desmond? And most pressing, will Desmond wake from this trauma? We look to Revelations next for answers. Desmond Miles returns to consciousness in a strange place. It appears coastal, but it's not of his world. But he still remembers. He remembers approaching the apple hidden by Ezio beneath Rome, him being compelled to move towards his friend Lucy Stillman, the person he trusted most.
No!
His hidden blade, piercing her skin.
It is done.
She must be dead. He used this blade many times as Altaär, as Ezio, but why? Why had the apple made him do it? Why had Juno?
You know very little. We must guide you.
He also remembers that voice, a voice he knows well, William.
Put him back in the machine. It's the only way to fix this.
This strange world is the Animus.
Hello?
He is in here to keep him alive.
Rebecca, get me out of here.
The assassins in 2012 can't hear Desmond. They can't record in this part of the Animus, but Desmond can hear them. Rebecca Crane and Sean Hastings are dealing with the aftermath of Desmond's collapse and burying their friend, Lucy Stillman.
Were they close? I mean, closer than friends?
This new voice, William, is there to help.
There was the occasional misty-eyed moment, but...
She liked him, Bill. That's what she told me.
Things got so fucked up so fast.
Are you at the airport?
Yeah, we're chartering a jet. Are you coming?
Yes, yeah. I'll be there soon.
For now, this is none of Desmond's concern. It seems he is stuck here, but he's not alone. For the first time, he is able to put a face to someone he knows so well.
Just walk right past me.
Subject 16, the man that left the symbols in blood, the breadcrumbs throughout Italy guiding us, sharing the truth. He is dead. Of course he is. This is just his consciousness. What is he doing here? But for now, Desmond has other questions.
What is this place? We're in the guts of the Animus, the original test program. No memories here, just basic physics, weather simulations. For now, the Animus is keeping all your ancestors from collapsing into one big mess. But if you can't find a sync nexus, all those personalities will smash together.
A sync nexus. That is what Desmond is to attain if he is to free himself and get back to his body.
There. That thing is your way out.
Through that door are unfinished memories. If Desmond can synchronize with them, he can attain a sync nexus and link back up with the real world.
I keep the Animus distracted as best I can. For you, so you can explore. Finish what you started until your ancestor has nothing left to show you.
And one of those ancestors is Ezio Auditore da Firenze. The year is 1511. Ezio Auditore is now 51. He has seen to the Borgia threat in Italy. He has revitalized the assassin order through his mentorship. And almost a year ago, he set out on a journey for truth. His father Giovanni sought the same truth. Ezio had a letter written a year before his birth where his father spoke of a library, a font of ancient wisdom hidden beneath the old home of the Levantine assassin, the old home of his ancestor Altaär ibn Lahad, Massiaf Castle. As he ascends the walls, he senses his ancestor with every step as he touches every stone. Ezio won't recognize this hallway, these shelves, this desk, but Desmond will. As Altair, he met the shamed Al-Mualim here many times. The assassins no longer call this place their home. Altair saw to that. They do not shutter themselves in grand castles. They live amongst the people and cultures they are trying to protect. Ezio had already been in Massiaf for a while. He had met the new occupants, the Templars. They were here for the same reason they knew of the library. He met them on the road and at the gates, and as their captain Leandros put the rope around Ezio's neck and walked him to the ramparts. But in 30 years as an assassin, he had escaped worse. Ezio knew of the library through knowledge passed through his assassin lineage, but how did the Templars know? As Ezio plunges beneath the castle, they had found the door too. A workman employed by the Templars.
It took me a year to find this chamber, and for the past 3 months I've been trying to break through this door.
There are keyholes here. Where are the keys?
These Templars found one beneath the Ottoman Sultan's palace. As for the others, I suppose the little book will tell them.
What book?
The captain of this Templar endeavour has it. Ezio chases him down.
Niccolo Polo's journal? This will do you no good. We have found one of the Massiaf keys already, and are closing in on the rest. You can have Altaär's books, Ezio. We only want directions to the location of the Grand Temple.
Grand Temple? Tell me more, now!
Both Ezio and Desmond knew there were multiple temples or vaults with hidden secrets of the old ones within, but never one given the moniker of Grand. How did the Templars find out about the vault? Perhaps it was through this book, a journal written by the famed merchant and explorer Niccolo Polo, a record of the life and teachings of the Levantine mentor Altaär, who persuaded Niccolo to join the order. The door to Altaär's library is opened by 5 keys. One of these keys was found beneath the Sultan's palace in Constantinople. This adventure is far from over, and with Niccolo Polo's journal in hand, he will use the journey to the heart of the Ottoman Empire to perhaps glean more clues about these elusive Massiaf keys. Ezio does not know what exactly the library holds, but he does know he must keep it from the hands of the Templars, who already have one key. Others are surely not far behind. Ezio arrives by boat to Constantinople. On his journey, he befriends a young man, a student. He learns of this new city.
A magnificent sight.
It is a work in progress.
Constantinople, or Istanbul to some, on the cusp of the border between Europe and Asia. It is infused with multiple cultures and a funnel for valuable trade of all kinds since the Ottomans won the city from the hands of the Byzantines in 1453. Under Ottoman rule, the city flourished and became one of tolerance, affluence and vibrancy.
Constantinople is a city for all kinds and creeds. Students like me or travelers such as yourself.
Alighting the boat, having made a new acquaintance, he immediately has the opportunity to make another.
You are the man I long to meet. Renowned master and mentor, Ezio Auditore.
This is Yusuf Tazim, and news of Ezio's exploits in the Holy Land have travelled at a quicker clip than himself.
Come, I will show you around.
Yusuf is the head of the Ottoman Brotherhood of Assassins. They have lived in relative peace here in the city, but in recent years, the Byzantines have risen up under a Templar banner. They know not who leads them, or what their endgame is, but they have been a thorn in the shoe of the assassins for some time. There are 2 sons, both boasting a claim to their father Bayezid's sultanship. Ahmet holds the strongest claim, and his brother Selim is abroad battling with the Sultan to take that right by force. With the Sultan away, the Byzantine Templars may see this as the best opportunity in years to take back power.
Watch.
But the Ottoman guards are far from pushovers.
Byzantium is dead, as are you!
Despite over 30 years as an assassin, Ezio yearned to learn more of how they do things here in the Ottoman Brotherhood.
Ezio, where is your hook blade? You've never seen one?
After years fighting the Borgia, he wished he had. The old dog delighted in this new trick that aided him to climb faster, swing farther, zip down wires and make quick departures from unwanted conflict. Worn on the opposite arm to the hidden blade, it would become a crucial part of Ezio's arsenal.
My brothers in Roma would like this.
That's not all they would like. Due to the city's position in the trade routes between the continents, the assassins would learn of many inventions from afar, and borrowed from the Chinese, Ezio would learn to wield bombs. not only to kill, but also to entice and distract.
There they go.
Almost forgetting his higher purpose, Ezio was glad to be amongst this new brotherhood, learning and using his new skills to defend and win back the assassin strongholds dotted around the city. His work would have an effect on these areas. The inhabitants would stop cowering in terror, and trade would begin to flourish. Blacksmiths, tailors, and bookshops. The city was a true place of learning and improvement, and Ezio experiences a fervour that belies his years. He feels alive once more. Indeed, working with Yusef, he would select and promote the most promising assassins to become masters of their own den, and mentor them as he did those in Rome, in the psychology and practicalities of being a master assassin.
Until you are properly trained, I will not let you go head-to-head with a killer as deadly as this man.
He had always been a natural leader, ever since his carefree days in Florence, but the practice of nurturing and guiding young talent and seeing them succeed in important tasks was what he valued most about his role as mentor. After helping to restore some sense of order in the city, he turns his attention to finding the former trading post of Niccolo Polo and continuing his search for the Massiaf keys. Yusef knows where to start.
Speak with a man named Piri Reyes in the bazaar. He can point you in the right direction.
Piri Reyes.
The famed cartographer and navigator is an assassin and part of the Ottoman order.
The old polo shop. It's just west of Hagia Sophia.
He leaves Piri for the trading post. It is now a bookshop.
Buongiorno. Please come in.
And the woman running it, Ezio recognizes immediately. He noticed her while conversing with a young student on arriving into the city, like now, carrying books.
I am Ezio Auditore.
Sofia Sartor. Have we met?
We have now.
Sophia hails from Italy but grew up in Constantinople, and now, due to her love of the written word, sources and prints rare books to sell in her shop. Ezio, under the guise of perusing these tomes, uses his skill to source a hidden door.
Have you found anything interesting? Incredibile. Where does it lead?
Why don't we find out?
It leads to an underground cistern, lost to time but not lost to the Templars, who are on the hunt for their next Massiaf key. They are searching blind. Ezio has eagle vision, a factor Niccolo Polo was counting on when hiding the keys. Working through the Templars, Ezio finds the chamber to the first Massiaf key and a map that offers more clues to the remaining 3 keys still unfound.
What did you find?
Something that may interest you.
Mio Dio, che meraviglia! And here is my shop.
Perhaps it was her passion, her beauty, or deep knowledge of the area and the written word, but Ezio opened up to her and sought her help.
Strange symbols, and these are titles of books. Rare books. A few of these have not been seen for more than a millennium.
Niccolo Polo hid these books around the city. This map should tell us where. From what I can tell, I need to find these 3 books first. They may contain clues to locate the rest of these.
I must admit, my head is swimming with the prospect of seeing these books. This is knowledge the world has lost, and must have again.
The mystery has taken hold of her. He couldn't stop her helping now, even if he wanted to.
It is a joy to see someone with a passion so personal and noble. It is inspiring.
She will decipher the location of the books. Ezio leaves to investigate the nature of this first key. What is it? What information does it hold? He heads back to the assassin headquarters to find out.
The markings on this key are familiar. I have seen its kind before. Just like the Apple of Eden. Ancient technology from the first civilization.
The key holds a memory. The memory of Altaär over 300 years before. Altaär is 24. This is new to Desmond. He joined Altaär's memories after this point. Altaär arrives in Massiaf. The home of the Templars is being invaded by Crusaders. A Templar had infiltrated the Brotherhood and now held Al-Mu'lim and others prisoner, all about to die.
We can do nothing for him now.
Abbas sees little hope. Altaär sees different.
When I close the castle gate, flank the Crusaders in the village and drive them into the canyon.
You don't stand a chance!
Abbas, no mistakes.
The plan was the right one. Altaär saves the assassins and his mentor, Al-Mu'lim.
You fit your father's shoes as if they had been tailored to your feet. I did not know him well as a father. You too were born into this order. Do you regret it? How can I regret the only life I've ever known?
That was all. just a fragment of time, a fleeting memory.
But what is Altaär trying to tell us, I wonder?
As Ezio experiences this memory, so too does Desmond. He is slowly synchronizing his ancestors' memories, working towards this sync nexus. While Sophia discerns the map, Ezio needs to work on finding the recovered key held by the Templars. It was found underneath Topkapi Palace. He needs to make some acquaintances inside the royal court. It's his best chance to find out more. He sees that chance as the assassins hear rumour of a planned Templar attack on the young Prince Suleiman, son to Selim, recently returned to the city.
If they do strike, it will be tonight at a cultural exposition the prince has organized.
To protect him, they need disguises. Their best bet is as entertainers. Ezio looks to source the clothes of minstrels.
Minstrels from Italia. I am going to enjoy this.
Find that.
They don the outfits, enter the palace and await the arrival of the prince.
Suleiman, the Sultan's grandson and governor of Kefe.
The young man on the boat was no mere student. Ezio was sailing with royalty.
And who is that?
His uncle, Shehzade Ahmed.
Sheriff.
Despite his father and Prince Ahmed's dispute over the throne, Suleiman is fond of his uncle. Suleiman sits in council to Ahmed and sees his uncle as a mentor and source of wisdom. As Suleiman circulates amongst his guests, Ezio is there to stem the Templar attack on his acquaintance from the boat.
It is a relief to see you again.
Are you injured?
Who is your captain soldier?
Tariq Balete.
Summon Tariq to the divan.
These soldiers are known as Janissaries. The Sultan's elite soldiers, trained warriors, fiercely loyal to the crown and inordinately influential as to who wears it.
Ezio, do you have some time to spare? I would like your opinion on something.
Ezio was to listen in on the debriefing between the prince, his uncle, and the leader of the Janissaries, Tariq Barleti. How was this attack able to take place?
An inexcusable failing, Effendim. I will conduct a full investigation.
I will conduct the investigation, Tariq.
Tariq Bey, a word.
Ahmed suggests that the attack was to make his stewardship of the city look weak.
I am not depraved enough to imagine the conspiracy you accuse me of.
What have I done to earn such contempt from the Janissaries?
Prince Ahmed is favoured by the Sultan to succeed the throne, but not by the Janissaries. They prefer the warring guile of his brother Selim.
You make a decent philosopher, Ahmed, but you will be a poor sultan.
They leave.
Your uncle lacks sway over the men he will soon command.
There is a rift in the power centre of the Ottoman Empire. What role are the Byzantine Templars playing in this? They need to find out more.
Where should we begin?
For now, keep an eye on Tariq and his Janissaries. They spend much of their free time in and around the bazaar.
Ezio finds the Janissaries and Tariq and tails him to a rendezvous.
He's waiting by the arsenal gate.
An eager old weasel, isn't he?
He is meeting Manuel Paleologos, flanked by a menacing masked man. Manuel, one of the last surviving members of the Byzantine lineage that were driven from the region at the hands of the Ottomans. He survived by surrendering to the Ottomans and sold his right to the throne in exchange for riches and security.
You may verify the amount, Tyler, but the money stays with me until I have seen the cargo for myself.
Why is he trading with the head of the Janissaries? What is the cargo? Manuel needs to assess its quality in the safety of the arsenal.
When you are satisfied, the cargo will be delivered to a location of your choosing.
I will have a map drawn up for you within the week.
Ezio must see the cargo for himself. To gain access to the armory, Ezio and the assassins stir up the discontent of the local populace, incite a riot,
push through,
and break through the gates. In the confusion, Ezio infiltrates the warehouse.
Finally, everything is falling into place.
Manuel is not content in being one of the richest men in the Empire. He has quietly resented the Ottomans for taking his birthright. As a Templar, the day he was hoping for is in sight. Is he the Grand Master of the Templars? It seems likely.
When the Paleologos line is restored, Manuel, do not forget who helped you bring it back.
Manuel is not the only person that feels wronged by the Ottomans. Shakulu supports Manuel in his aim. His family were killed at the hands of the Ottomans. He seeks revenge.
I'm satisfied. Take me to my ship.
The cargo is rifles, and they are to weaponize a Templar army to take the Ottoman throne. But where is this army? He must find out where the guns are destined. With Prince Suleiman's consent, he disguises himself as a janissary, infiltrates their barracks, finds the tent of Tariq Barleti and finds out where the guns are heading, the location of the Byzantine army.
The rifles have arrived in Cappadocia, where Manuel has garrisoned his army.
Ezio has the location, but the Templar Tariq Barleti must die first. Except he's not a Templar. He was doing as Ezio is, seeking an end to the Byzantine threat of the Ottoman Empire.
I was preparing an ambush, preparing to strike the Byzantine Templars where they felt safest. Protect my homeland, assassin.
An innocent man is dead. Ezio leaves with the location of the army and the knowledge that Tariq had spies inside the city of Cappadocia. He must go there. It's not only his duty to stem the Templars' rise to power at every turn, but it might give further clues as to the location of the Massiaf key held by the Templars. He reports to Prince Suleiman.
He was loyal to your grandfather to the end, and through his efforts, we have the means to save your city.
I will arrange a ship to take you.
His uncle, Prince Achmet, arrives.
Suleiman, I have been set up. It is no secret that he and I were at odds. Forgive me, nephew. I was not aware that you had a guest.
This is Marcello, one of my European advisors in Cafe.
Buonasera.
With his identity protected, Ezio leaves. He has things to attend to before he departs by boat to Cappadocia. His other new friend in the city has discerned the map enough for Ezio to source Niccolo Polo's hidden books. Within them are marked the location of other hidden tombs. Exploring the depths of those proved complex, but fruitful, as Ezio emerged from each with a total of 3 more keys. Despite their success, Ezio is saddened that their search for the keys has come to an end. He spent many hours with Sophia discerning the map, as well as discussing literature and geography and history and all the passions that they both shared an interest. Ezio's ardour for the female form had been tempered over the years. Partly his age, partly his learned respect for women, partly his focus on the cause, but mostly due to the pain of loss he has faced in his life. He could not protect his first love, Cristina Vespucci, when he was drawn into the Brotherhood. He could not be there for her during Savonarola's sack of Florence when she died in his arms. Later, his guarded heart would be captured by Caterina Sforza, but again, the struggle would trump any chance of a quiet, happy existence. He was married to the cause, and anyone he got close to would be at risk by mere association with him. Despite this, Ezio cared deeply for Sophia, and that care was returned. Before his voyage, Sophia arranges a picnic.
I wanted to thank you for letting me play a small role in your adventure.
A small role is enough for this adventure, believe me.
You are a mystery, Ezio Auditore.
I will explain one day, Sophia, when I can.
He can't place her in danger any more than he already has. Together they have found 3 more keys. Before he leaves for Cappadocia, Ezio, and by design Desmond, learns more of the life of Altaär. After Altaär had disarmed the corrupt Al-Mualim of the Apple, there was acute confusion. The assassins, the city of Massiaf, were woken from the spell cast by the Piece of Eden in their mentor's charge. Altaär was in no doubt what he had to do.
Altair! No!
I must know that he cannot return.
But this is not our way!
Abbas leads the chorus of discontent.
All your life, you have made a mockery of our creed! You bend the rules to suit your whims!
In the melee, Abbas takes and wields the apple.
Abbas! Stop! What did you think would happen when you murdered our beloved mentor?
Abbas is not steered by principles or love of Al-Mualim. He is guided by pain, by hate. Hate for Altaär over his father's death. His father, Achmet, died when he was a child. Al-Mualim kept the truth from Abbas, but it was suicide. Shamed by his betrayal of Umar, Altair's father, Achmet cut his own throat in front of Altair. He kept it a secret as long as he could, but told his friend Abbas of his father's suicide in the end. Having been fed a different story by Al-Mualim, Abbas could not discern the truth. Their friendship was fractured and the mystery ate a piece of Abbas every day since.
My father was a hero! Whatever this artifact is capable of, you are not worthy to wield it!
No man is.
Abbas felt its power, its mystery, but he could not contain it. Altaär could.
Forgive me. I did not know.
Have you anything to teach us? Or would you lead us all to ruin?
Altaär would forgive Abbas and those that stood for Al-Mualim and take charge of the assassins. As mentor, the assassin and its creed would find new strength and a singular focus to fight for liberty in their region and beyond. He also sought to learn from the apple and apply its teachings where he could. He would marry Maria, a woman whose life he once had in his hands. They had children, Darim and Seth. With the threat of the Mongols in the east approaching, Altaär elected to leave the order, now stronger than ever, and attend to this threat with his wife and son, Darim. In their absence, Abbas took control of the order and killed their son, Seth. Altaär and Maria return to Massiaf and prepare to confront Abbas.
He executed our youngest son, Maria. He deserves to die.
Resist your desire for revenge, Altaär. Speak truth, and they will see their error.
They have every reason to strike with vengeance, but the strength of the order transcends their pain.
When we left Massiaf 10 years ago, this order was strong. But all our progress has been undone.
They arrive in the gardens of Massiaf Castle.
You have held that artifact for 30 years, reveling in its power and hoarding its secrets. Surrender the apple, Altaär, and I will tell you why your son was put to death.
Very well, Abbas. Take it.
Before I executed your son, I told him you ordered it yourself.
There are some things reason cannot overcome.
Strength, Altaär.
But passion in place of reason has meant the loss of his wife as well as his son. Altaär has no choice but to flee with his last remaining son, Darim.
My love.
For 20 years, Altaär stays away. He mourns and he turns to the apple to learn and understand, fabricate its technology. All this time, the Brotherhood slips further and further into decline. In 1247, aged 81, Altaär returns to take back the Brotherhood. Abbas has maddened himself with hatred.
It is not our place to judge. If our master has gone mad, I would like to know.
Altaär knows he has allies. He had many from his legend alone, but Abbas has delivered him the rest. As Altaär approaches the castle, some confront, some step aside, most rally to his aid.
What are you waiting for? He has bewitched you! You have wasted your life staring into that apple!
I learned many things from the apple, of the past and the future. Let me show you.
With Massiaf reclaimed, Altaär will set about rebuilding the order, restoring it to how he left it and using his years of wisdom to improve it further still.
The assassins were his life, from beginning to end. He had no other.
Ezio arrived in Cappadocia, a city carved into the hills, a bustling populace controlled by Byzantines. He was there to investigate the extent of the Templar army, their hierarchy, and their plans. First, he would seek out Tarek's people, installed to learn more. They had been found out, captured, and systematically tortured by the sadistic masked man, Shakulu. Ezio must disable this Templar army. He infiltrates the armory, blows up the munitions, and draws out the Byzantine Templar, Manuel Palaiologos.
We fight to restore peace to this troubled land.
Templars are always quick to talk of peace, but very slow to concede power. Your dream dies with you, Manuel. Your empire is gone.
But I am not the only one with this vision, assassin. All Templars are part of the same family.
I am here for the Massiaf key.
Ezio has the final key, the key to open the library. Altair's font of wisdom and the Grand Master of the Byzantine Templars is dead. Except he wasn't their leader, merely a cog in the wheel. Another topped the Templars' hierarchy.
Poor Manuel, last of the Palerologi. I should not have put him in charge of our Massiaf expedition.
Prince Achmet.
You disappoint me, Ahmed. Why the Templars?
Because I am tired of all of these pointless blood feuds that pit father against son, brother against brother. To achieve true peace, mankind must think and move as one body. The secrets in the Grand Temple will give us just that, and Altaär will lead us there. I am here for the Massiaf keys. Perhaps I should ask someone who knows better. Sophia Sartor.
She knows nothing! Leave her be!
We shall see.
Achmet turns his boat and heads to Constantinople to capture Sophia hostage. As Ezio suffers the boat journey home with impatience, he takes this time to view the fifth and final Massiaf key. It is 1257, and Altaär is 92. The Mongols are advancing quickly from the east, and a recent inductee in the order, Niccolo Polo, is being given a vital task: to guard his codex, his life's work, so that he may propagate the wisdom establishing guilds throughout the world, the first of which, Constantinople.
We are ready. A last favor, Niccolo.
He also gave him the 5 Massiaf keys.
Each one imbued with a message.
A message for whom?
I wish I knew.
Ezio did know. But he must see Sophia safe. He arrives at the bookshop. Before leaving for Cappadocia, Ezio asked that Yusef keep an eye on Sophia while he was gone. Sophia was not there, but the bodies of Byzantine Templars and the body of his new friend Yusuf Tazim was.
Brothers, sisters, the whole city rises against us, while Yusuf's murderer waits and watches from the arsenal. Fight with me, and show him what it means to cross the assassins.
Ezio and the assassins enter the arsenal once more and find Achmet, but he cannot kill him. He has Sophia.
Bring the seals to Galata Tower when you are ready, and Sophia will be spared. My brother's army will be here soon, Ezio. After that, everything changes.
Prince Suleiman is there to hear his uncle's secret. Achmet follows the Templar order.
The world is a tapestry of many colors and patterns. A just leader would celebrate this, not seek to unravel it.
He fears the disorder that comes from difference.
Spare my uncle if you can.
Would your father?
No.
Ezio has the keys. He could head to Massiaf now and open the library, but there is no question of doing that yet. He must save Sophia. He heads to Galata Tower.
Now, the keys.
First, the girl.
She's all yours.
Sophia!
Ezio has no choice. He relinquishes the Massiaf keys, climbs the tower, but it's a trick. Sophia hangs below, close to death. He must be quick.
I did not mean to drag you into this. I'm sorry, but I need to recover what they have taken.
I do not understand what is happening. Ezio, who are these men?
Run!
As Achmet leaves the city with the keys en route to the library, Ezio and Maria give chase. The Massiaf keys.
So what now, Ezio? How does this end?
I am wondering that myself.
Arriving back from the conflict with the Sultan, Achmet's brother Selim has claimed the throne for himself.
Where is he? Where is the Sultan?
He stands before you, brother. Father made his choice. I am Selim, Suleiman's father. Were it not for his endorsement, I would have you killed where you stand. Leave this place. Do not return.
This is not your fight.
But where does one end and the next begin?
Back in 1506, in Rome, Ezio Auditore and his friend Leonardo da Vinci entered the Pythagorean vault and activated a pedestal. What they saw was not understood by either of them. Ezio was used to this. But back in 2012, the assassins knew them to be coordinates to a location. The assassins were now on their way there.
Bill, good to see you. I hope you have something for us. Absolutely. Passports and papers for everyone.
This is
crazy! Desmond's brain is lighting up like a string of firecrackers.
Here it comes!
What is that?
Desmond's time in this partition of the Animus is coming to an end. He is nearing complete synchronization on the memories he needs to complete the sync nexus, and this test program that has kept him safe is collapsing. And with it, the consciousness that has done most to keep Desmond alive. Subject 16. He has a name, Clay Kaczmarek. Unlike Desmond, he was not born into the Order. His parents weren't assassins. He was recruited, trained, covertly installed into Abstergo by this voice, William.
Break into Abstergo, gather the intel and get out. Prove yourself, novice, and you will be one of us.
And when done, he would be extracted by Lucy Stillman.
Now Lucy will get you direct access to the Animus at night, and once you have enough information, she'll get you out.
But Clay was not extracted. He knew too much. He was allowed to succumb to the bleeding effect by extended periods in the Animus, until one day he stayed there, installing his consciousness permanently in the Animus, after which he took his own life. He knew about Lucy. He knew their plan.
If our experiments with Desmond and the Animus aren't going well, you will remove him from Abstergo. Take him somewhere he will feel comfortable divulging his secrets. Desmond will lead you to the apple, and then you bring it right to us. You have served the Templar Order well.
Lucy died at the hands of the apple because she was instructed to take it to the Templars. At heart, it appeared she was a Templar. Had her time with the assassins shifted this allegiance? A question that can now never be answered. As Clay Kaczmarek submitted his consciousness to the Animus, he was given his final task by Juno to make sure Desmond survives.
Your eyes are now open. Help Desmond Miles.
I will.
As the test program collapses, his final act is to do just that.
What are you doing?
I'm saving you, idiot! Go!
Back into the Animus, on the cusp of achieving his sync nexus to experience one last memory. Ezio had been fighting for over 30 years. Like Desmond, like Altaär, he did not choose this life. It was thrust upon him. He's tired. He embarked on this journey from his homeland in search of truth, reasons for the ways of this world, and his place within it. What he found was love, deepened further by the long road to Massiaf, Sophia choosing to stay by his side as he completed this journey with the keys to the library.
For 3 decades, I have served the memory of my father and my brothers. I do not regret those years, but it is time to live for myself and let them go.
Then let go. You will not fall far.
With the 5 keys, Ezio opens Altaär's library, sealed shut for 300 years.
You had better come out of there alive.
I plan to.
Many shelves, but no books. Just a chair with a figure slumped within it.
Requiescat in pace, Altair.
Holding a 6th Massiaf key. Ezio is transported to the day the library was sealed.
Father, I do not understand. Why did you build a library if you did not intend to keep your books?
You should go. When the Mongols return, Massiaf must be empty. Go be with your family, and live well.
Massiaf is no longer home to the assassins, but sealed in this tomb, it will be the final resting place of Altaär. In it, he will guard the apple for a day he will never see, to share secrets with a person he will never meet. He sits with his last recorded memory and waits.
Another artifact. I have seen enough for one life.
As it was when he met Minerva, he knows his purpose has not been to understand. His purpose was to reveal, and he senses this is his last revelation as an assassin. The apple is activated.
Desmond?
He's talking to me?
Who are we, who have been so blessed to share our stories like this? To speak across centuries. Maybe you will be the one to make all this suffering worth something in the end. Now, listen.
Desmond has achieved his sync nexus.
Do you hear me, Cypher? Can you see me?
This is Jupiter. Like Minerva and Juno, he was one that came before. They are in a nexus of time, and he is here to illuminate Desmond on the work they did in the vaults, trialing and testing methods to save the world.
Each vault's knowledge was transmitted to a single place.
The Grand Temple, where they tested the most promising methods.
But none worked. And then the world ended.
Desmond would see the world as it was during their time. He saw the solar catastrophe eviscerate everyone and everything save a handful of humanity and even less of Jupiter's kind. But they worked together to rebuild and to renew. But what of the impending catastrophe prophesied by Minerva?
Listen, you must go there. Take my words. Pass them from your head into your hands. That is how you will open the way.
The assassins have travelled far, to the coordinates that Ezio showed them, to that place on Jupiter's globe, to the east coast of America.
Wait, look, his vitals are stabilizing.
He hears that voice again, that voice he knows so well.
Desmond, can you hear me? Son?
I know what we need to do.
Desmond's purpose is still in motion, here at the entrance to the Grand Temple, but his time with Ezio has come to an end. He has nothing left to show him. Ezio lived the remainder of his years in the Tuscan countryside, healing the pain he endured, reflecting on the lessons he had learnt, and growing the family he started with Sophia. He found love, contentment, and finally, peace. This is the end of Ezio's story, but not of Desmond's, and not of the eternal struggle between those of liberty, the assassins, those of order, and those of an age long gone. This series does and will continue. Watch me discover this saga in real time, in the blind playthroughs of each game and the story summaries I create afterwards. Find the playlists to this continuing project in the card above now and the link in the description below. Like this video if you did, subscribe, hit the bell and enable notifications to be informed when the next video is released. If you want to tip the video, you can do so via Ko-fi. And if you want to give me ongoing support while gaining previews of every video 7 days before release on YouTube, you can do so via Patreon and receive a host of other benefits besides. I'm the Patient Wolf, and this has been the complete story of the Ezio Trilogy. Watch this next. Support the project here, and thank you to every patron on the screen now. See you next time.